what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So last episode we took on the New York Rangers in the second round, and we managed to just barely squeak by, winning in 7 games. Now we're up here in the conference finals up against the Philadelphia Flyers, who have a pretty solid team offensively, but their defensive core after their top pairing is really weak, and their goaltending isn't that good either. So as you can see, their forward core extremely good on the top 9, but their defensive core is like extremely weak after Provorov and Goss's pair. And then in terms of goaltending wise, Carter Hart's still growing, so he's only an 83 at the moment, and Stolarz is only an 80. So on paper, they definitely, I think, might have the upper hand in terms of offensive production. But I don't know if we get, they had a really weird regular season, so I think we might be able to still beat them. But since they had a kind of a cheese regular season, and they actually even made the playoffs, I don't know if we're going to be able to get past these guys. But let's see if we could get to that Stanley Cup Finals appearance, as we haven't been in a Stanley Cup Final since 2006. So game number 1 on home ice still. Let's see if we can get a 1-0 series lead. So first period, and their offense comes through twice, Voracek and Couturier, but Kapanen has pulled us within 1, which is a huge goal going into the second period. We're outshooting them 11-10. Second period, and damn, 4-1 them. See, this is what I mean. Their offense is just really, really good. We might have to make some good line changes again. Hornquist and Tatar, and we're only being outshot by 1 shot, but we're down 4-1. Not a great way to start off a conference finals, especially on home ice. And Goss's Bear is going to make it 5-1. Hopefully this is a one-time thing where their offense shows up like this. And then hopefully game 2, our offense shows up. So Aston Reese is going to score to make it 5-2. So a bit more respectable than a 5-1 game. Skinner makes it 5-3. Nicely done. But I don't think we're going to get another too quickly. And no, we're not. So at least we managed to score 3 goals on them, but still 5 goals against is not good, especially in a conference finals. So Kapanen from Waugh, Aston Reese from Fleury and Lewis Terrainen, and Skinner from Falk and Brown. So I'm not going to even change anything but the lines, even though we just had a really bad defensive game. I feel like we could still bounce back technically. So if we lose this game, however, I will make line changes, but I feel like we could all of a sudden win a game. So game number 2, still on home ice. Let's tie the series up, guys. We don't want to fall down 0-2 going back to Philadelphia. First period, and there you go. 2-0 us. Teravainen and Brown. That's what I like to see. Shots are 11-6 in favor of us as well. Second period, and wow, okay, it's 4-1 us now. Teravainen and Bean make it 4-0, but Simmons will finally get them on the board. Let's just lock it down here in the third period, boys. So they had a good offensive game last game, and now we're having a very good offensive game in game number 2. So this series could go, it looks like, anyway. And Aston Reese picks up his second of the playoffs, or second of the round, and it is 5-1 us. So we're actually outscoring them so far in the playoffs, because in game 1 it was 5-3 them, and this one is 5-1 us. So we've basically outscored them 8-6 so far. So pretty good game there, 5-1. Good game from Mrazek to bounce back from. Teravainen had 4 points, gets first star, and Hanifin also got points to get the third star. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to make any line changes unless we have a really bad defensive game. Like in Philadelphia, if we lose 1 game and we win 1, I'm still fine with it, I think. So game number 3 at the Wells Fargo Center, I think it's called. Let's see if we could take a 2-1 series lead. First period, and it is 2-0 us again. Kapanen with both goals. So that's the second time in this playoff run where he's got a 2-goal game. Let's see if we can continue into the second period. And yes, it can. 4-3 us, though, now. We were up 4-1 at one point, but we have blown our lead. So Teravainen made it 3-0. Hansen made it 3-1. Lewis Terrainen made it 4-1. But then Provorov and Patrick have pulled them back in the game, and we're only up by 1 goal going into the third period, so this is definitely an offensive series. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My mom came home. She was just getting back from the grocery store. So anyways, we are going to continue our simulation. So like it currently just was, it's 4-3 with 15:59 left in the third period. We're here in game number 3, I think it was, looking to take a 2-1 series lead. Come on, boys, let's just lock it down here in this third period. There you go. Adrian Kempe makes it 5-3. He's been great so far. Let's just lock it down. And last 2 minutes, and we are going to take a 2-1 series lead in the conference finals with a nice win in Philadelphia. Nicely done, boys. So Kapanen with 2 goals. His 7th actually of the playoffs already, so he's been scoring a lot of goals for us. Teravainen, his 9th from Lindholm and Brown. Louis Durainen scored from Falk and Kemp, and Kemp from Lindholm and Fleury. Nicely done, boys. So Kempe gets first star with 3 points, Kapanen gets second star with 2 points, and Fleury the third star. So it seems like our third line has been coming through as of recently. And obviously our offense has been clicking good as we got 10 goals in the last 2 games and 13 in our last 3. So let's see if we could take a 3-1 series lead, head back home, and have a chance to go to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 2006. First period, and it is 1-0 Flyers. Patrick Hornquist opens the scoring, and they're outshooting us 11-7. Second period, there you go, bounce back period, nicely done. Teravainen ties the game up, and we're getting outshot still 21-17. Let's see if we can take the lead here in the third period, boys. Power play. Yes, there you go, Victor Rask. Nicely done, Victor. He hasn't came through in quite a while, actually. And we have a 2-1 lead. Let's just lock it down here, boys. Get an insurance marker. There you go, Victor Rask again. And then Simmons is going to pull them within 1, but Gauthier answers back, and we have a 4-2 lead. Our offense has just been clicking like crazy the last few games. And we are going to take a 3-1 series lead in the conference finals and be 1 game away from going to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time. And like I said, it's around 14 years, I guess, at this point in the game. So Teravainen from Brown and Lindholm, Rask from Skinner, Rask from Teravainen and Aho, and Gauthier from Falk and Aston Reese. 3 stars, Rask, Mrazek, and Teravainen. Okay, so we are 1 game away from the Stanley Cup Finals. Carolina's been in the Stanley Cup Finals only twice before in their since they came into the league in 1996. They were in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2002 against Detroit, in 2006 against Edmonton. If we win this, who are we going to be up against, I wonder, in the 2020 Stanley Cup Finals? So, do we get there? Let's see. Game number 5, first period, and it's 2-0 us. Let's go, boys. Lindholm and Falk beating Carter Hart. Shots are 10-8 in favor of us. Second period, and it is 3-1 us. Adrian Kempe again makes it 3-0, and then Claude Giroux pulls them within 2. That was a nice little rhyme there. Claude Giroux pulling them within 2. Okay, third period underway. Can we go to the Stanley Cup Finals? If there is a chance, I will maybe intervene and watch. Oh, Giroux pulls them within 2. That's not good. Or 1. That's not good. I just said the 2 thing again. God damn it. I'm going to get that stuck in my head now. Last little bit. Penalty kill. Get off. Nicely done. I'm going to intervene, and we're going to watch the, get us the conference thing. Yep, there you go. 4-2 lead as Fleury gives us an insurance marker. And we're going to be a Stanley Cup finalist for the first time in, like I said, 14 years. And yeah, I'll see you guys back up here in a bit.
Carolina's got another face-off win. Long lead pass to Hannafin. Gathered in by Falk. Laid on to Hannafin. Carolina's up the wing settling things. And he dumps it in.
The Hurricanes realize they have to get this puck in deep.
Still has control up the wing. Oh, wonderful play. Big chance here. Outstanding save. has that point pass as well. Trying to go to Hornquist. Gets in, looks over his options here. Lets a shot fly. Freezes play.
Giroux's creativity is really a difficulty for teams trying to shut him down. He can attack with speed, he can use power, and if you're trying to take his shot away, he'll just find the next open guy and make him the dangerous one.
A big win. Let's see what happens. Lets a shot go. Got that in the trapper.
That was all positioning, right into his glove.
The Hurricanes have been able to get ongoing offense from him for quite some time now. This point streak continues as he's had an excellent game again.
They won it. Now what can they do? One-timer. Puck covered. Whistle blown. Good job tying the man up on the faceoff. Teammate comes in. Pass cut. Gets across, looks over his options. A shot. Oh, lightning quick and a terrific save. Moving it on up the wing. No further that rush. A long game and the clock bleeds down to the final minute of regulation. And he's hammered.
Simmons trying to lead by example. You can lead with a speech or you can lead with a goal. This time, he tries to lead with his body and he levels his man.
And he dumps it in. The Flyers empty their net. He's at the bench. Puck covered, whistle blown.
Simmons closes the gap here quickly. Delivers this huge hit, shoulder to chest. Textbook.
They won that faceoff. Can they clear it? The Hurricanes carrying on in the defensive zone. Nice play with the stick. Nothing more will come. Shoots. Great glove save, and he keeps it.
Oh, that puck just hit his glove.
The goalie has left. A skater is on. An extra one to try to get a key goal near the end. They win the draw. Let's see if it pays off. Off his glove. A whistle and a rest.
Routine stop for the goaltender. The shooter's going to have to do a much better job challenging him.
And they've won that draw. Oh, what a break. That shot hit somebody. Slid to Brown. Net open. Missed. Nice work by Skinner. Score!
Brown's goal has put this one away for sure.
Everybody can exhale a little bit now. Once the empty netter goes in, that pretty well wraps it up.
Philadelphia's got that puck off the draw. Only a few seconds separating this team from a trip to play for the Stanley Cup. And the game is over. The series is over. They've won the series and they'll move on. A bitter end to a season that held such promise. There is nothing to do now but rest and heal and come back again in the fall. Time now for the presentation of the Prince of Wales Trophy. It goes to the Eastern Conference team that is already thinking about the Stanley Cup final. I guess the question always is, will they touch it or not? There's some superstition operating.
Okay, so there you guys have it. We made the Stanley Cup finals. So Kempe gets first star again with 3 points. Brown gets second star getting that empty netter with 2 points. And Mrazek gets the third star with 29 saves. So we're off to the Stanley Cup finals for the first time, like I said, since 2006. So let's see who we are going up against. I think Nashville and I forget who else was in the Western Conference Finals. Much to be a team we made a trip in. It is Nashville or Minnesota. Interesting, Minnesota. So we'll take a look at our player stats in a bit, and then we'll also check the lines for facing. I wasn't expecting us to get past the Flyers in 5 games only. Like, our offense way outplayed their offense. Okay. Should be almost there. Oh, it's going to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. Guess we'll find out right after this. We should at least. Okay, maybe after today's date. Holy crap, still. Okay, there you go. And we're going up against in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Minnesota Wild. Wow, okay, so we get to go up against the team that I was in my last GM mode series. That's interesting. Makes for a cool story. So let's take a look at our player stats after the first 3 rounds, and then take a look at the Wild lines. So Teravainen's got almost a point per game, 17 points in 18 games. Skinner 15, Rask 14, 13 for Aho, 11 for Kemp and Kapanen. That's huge considering they're on the third line. Fleury, Brown, and Falk all 10 points. Lindholm 9 points. So Lindholm actually picked it up a lot in that round. Slavin with 8 points, Hannafin and Wall with 7 points, Lustrina with 6 points, Aston Reese and Gauthier with 4 points, Bean with 3 points, and Pesci with 1, and he's dropping down to a 78 now. Come on, boy, you're in the Stanley Cup Finals. So Mrazek's 12-6, 930 save percentage, at 2.09 goals against average, so he's been a big piece to getting us to the Cup Finals. So now our final thing we need to do is check the Minnesota Wild lines. I'm interested to see how they compare to our Minnesota Wild lines from 2019-20. So let's just see. So Minnesota, I think they made a big trade if I remember correctly. I saw, so yeah, so Parise, Granlund, and Niederreiter is their first line. Second line, Bodker, Duchesne, and Zuger. Third line, they got Joel Armia. Oh yeah, we made the trade with them. Sent them Armia for Nieves. I forgot about that. So they got Armia, Coyle, and Chiasson, and then Sedin, Kunin, and Foligno. So yeah, their team's pretty deep on the offensive court. Defensively, their top pairing's pretty good. Rodin and Suter. Spurgeon and Dumba's a pretty solid top 4 pairing, but that top 6 pairing is way weaker than ours, as you got Martin and Osterle. And then in terms of goaltending, Devin Dubnyk is dropping off, and Kakinen is the backup. Scratch, they got Eriksson Ek, who they're gonna have to probably release him because he's getting pissed off with his ice time, I'd assume. And Nick Jensen. So overall wise, I think we might be able to beat them considering we have the better defensive core, but you never know. They could be a very good offensive team in comparison to us. I don't know where they finished in terms of the standings during the regular season. But do we have home ice in this series? Did I see? Yeah, we do have home ice, so we might be able to get past them because they basically also went 41-41 just like the Flyers. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Carolina Hurricanes franchise mode. So next episode, we'll take it to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Minnesota Wild. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.